Y'all, it's just another day in the garden, in the heat, in Southwest Ohio. Well, good morning and welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. I got my little wagon of goodies. It's super early in the morning and we are going to keep on keeping on in the garden. Come with me. Hi, everybody. It is a nice, warm, humid day in Southwest Ohio. It's already, I think the temperature's like 72, but it feels like 78 or something crazy like that at 7 o'clock in the morning. So my goal was to get out here early before the heat kicked in, but the heat never left from yesterday. So we're going to get out here in it. We're going to stay out here just for maybe an hour and a half, messing around in the garden, working on the garden. I never finished working on the garden yesterday. So you're going to see stuff laying all in the walk aisles and that kind of stuff. And guess what? It's going to stay in those walk aisles for at least one more day because I'm going to add to it today. So the first thing we're going to work on is this bed right here behind me. And I'm going to show you what I started yesterday. And then we're going to do a little maintenance and plant a few more things. So yesterday I got over here and I cleaned all of the weeds out from around my onion. My onions are doing really, really well. And I believe I'm going to give them a haircut today, some of them anyway. And then we're going to finish cleaning up this bed. We're going to pull some stuff out. That right there is a tomato plant that was growing over here in the onion. So I moved it and I didn't water it. So maybe it'll survive and maybe not. And if it doesn't survive, it's okay because it was a volunteer anyway. But we're going to clean all of this up, including the lettuce in the back that has gone to seed. And yep, I let it go to seed, y'all. I didn't take care of it, but we're going to take care of it today. And here's my garden mess. I have all between the aisles, all of these beans that I pulled up that I need to get disposed of. I'll have the girls do it today. Y'all, I believe the heat wave is about to break. If I can just hang on for just a few more days, our temperatures will go back to the low to mid 80s for this time of year. I mean, we're in early July and this is the weather we usually get in August. So all I got to do is hold on, y'all. Just got to hold on a few more days. There we go. That's better. I know a lot of people are saying their gardens are really, really suffering just with this heat wave that's hitting everybody. I don't believe anyone's free of this heat wave that's been going around. You know, people are saying they're just going to give up and wait till August. Well, depending on where you live, that might be a good idea. But for me, I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep on keeping on. I'm going to keep on trying anyway. I'll put it that way. I'm sure I'm going to lose some things earlier than I should say. There are other things that's going to make it in this heat because there are heat-loving vegetables. And some of them need a long time up front, like eggplant. You need a long time up front on your eggplant because they take a lot to get them big enough to transplant to survive in the garden. But there are other ones that you can plant directly in your garden from seed. And we're going to be doing some of that today. So not a big haircut, just a little. I try not to give my onion haircuts if it's going to rain in the next few days or so. I don't want rain going down inside them. I want to give them a little time to heal before rain comes. But y'all, I don't see rain in sight. As far as I can see, I don't see no rain. Look at that. I was looking for this as well. Another one of the ends to my water hose. Yep. There it is. You lay stuff down in the garden and you find it months later. I've already bought a new one now. Some of the necks on these have already been over. I'm going to still cut the ends off anyway. I don't think they were ready to bend over. I think they got forced over. But we will see if we can keep them growing just a little longer. I don't think that one will, but I'm not ready to harvest it today. Now, I'm not keeping the ends of my onion But you can. I have in the past taken the ends of my onion like this and I dehydrated them and turned them into like green onion, like a flake is what I used it for. After they dehydrated, I lightly chopped them up in my blender and then I could just sprinkle green onion onto many different things. But y'all, I got like a half-gallon jar of this stuff inside. So I don't need any more at the moment anyway. But try to use everything out your garden if you can. Don't throw it on the ground like I'm doing right now. Use it if you can. I have more tomatoes over here I'm going to pull up. Oh, by the way, these tomatoes that self-seeded are black cherry and they self-seeded all over my whole garden, y'all. So it's not like I need any black cherry tomatoes. I didn't plant any this year because this right here, there's no reason to plant when you got them like this. I need to get rid of this too, just not today. I feel like I got so much to do in so many beds that I'm trying to stay organized, right? Focus on one bed at a time, just one. And I shouldn't have been over here in this bed yesterday, but I walked by and I saw that grass and I couldn't stop. I did harvest, I believe, all of my cabbage out of this bed for sure. Cabbage, yes. The cauliflower, I don't think I got any of my cauliflower. It just got too hot and it couldn't handle it. I just threw the leaves of the cabbage and the cauliflower, everything in this bed here to kind of tamp out weeds until I could get to them. And if I can leave the roots in a spot, I will. Let them break down naturally, giving back to the soil. I think that's cleaned up enough. We'll call it good anyway. I actually got it cleaned up enough now that you can actually see the melons that I'm trying to grow back here. That's my goal anyway, is to grow the melons back here. Now that I've cleaned up this bed, and we are in July, so I'm going to consider July my mid-year fertilizing for a granular fertilizer. So we're going to put some granular fertilizer down versus liquid. I try to use granular fertilizer at the beginning when I first plant and mid-season. I don't like to put fertilizer directly on my plants because it could burn the plants. Even though this is a low and slow fertilizer, I prefer not to do that. I had one teeny weeny little bitty purple eggplant left. And so we are going to go ahead and put it in the ground right here. Seriously doubt it's going to do anything because it's so small, but we're going to give it a chance of life. And it's the only eggplant I have available. Y'all, it was so bad. I just didn't want to get out here. I didn't start any backup plants or anything because it was just too bad. And you probably can't see it very well, but it's in there. It should be fine as long as it don't, dry up and die because of all of this hot weather, but it's super humid. I didn't water yesterday. And it got up above 90 degrees, but I didn't water. But the soil is super moist because the night before I did a deep watering. So when I do a deep watering, I can water like every other day versus little light surface watering. I mean, I went deep in this bed and the soil is still nice and is happy. I put a shovel of, what did I put right here? Compost, just to bring the bed up just a little bit right here. Nah, I'm going to have to go on and put what I'm supposed to put in here. I'm going to go grab a couple shovels of Happy Frog. I was trying to go easy on the Happy Frog, but we had to put Happy Frog in here. So now I'm going to put heavy hitter okra in the front here. I only got 5 seeds, so it's not like we put in a whole bunch. But hopefully they are heavy hitters. So the okra's in. Uh-oh, where did that seed go? I lost the seed. There's one. There's one. Two, there it is. Now, I got all 5 seeds in. Okra likes it hot. And so these okra plants should do very well because this bed gets evening sun. It's the only bed that is in full evening sun. And that's why I chose to put some right here. I chose to put some of my melons because 2 years ago, this bed did phenomenal with melons being right here in the evening sun. So we're trying for it again. I have a few of them that has survived being shaded out by the cabbage and the cauliflower. So hopefully they will start taking off and we'll have melons here again. Okra loves hot weather and eggplant loves hot weather. And that's why I've put all of them in this space here. Now, I've decided I'm going to go ahead and pull this tomato plant out. And I'm going to put it on that back trellis. Now, tomatoes don't necessarily want all that hot weather, but these 2 plants are going to get it. I'm working in tight quarters here, y'all. And y'all, I put this in yesterday, this tomato plant, back in here yesterday, and I didn't water at all. And it looks like it's going to survive. The top's weepy, but the bottom is now nice and strong. It wasn't last night. Last night, it wasn't strong at all. But this morning it is. So that's good. It may make it. It may make it. We'll see. Oh, Lord, there's another tomato plant back there. Boy, I didn't have to plant these. They came up all on their own. Black cherry. Whew. Oh, that was a worm. Go ahead, Mr. Worm. Do your thing. I don't like you, but you can stay. All right, this bed's done. We're going to go over and work on another tomato plant or a tomato bed in Tomato Alley. Miss Charlie gonna have a lot to clean up today. So this is the last tomato area on this side of the garden. So I'm gonna finish cutting back all of the stems that are down low, cleaning them up for good airflow. And then these onion may get a haircut, we'll see. But I'll bring you back when I get done. All right, I'm in the shade, but I wasn't in the shade when I was doing this work a few minutes ago. Anyway, I got this bed completely cleaned up. I gave the onion a haircut. I trimmed up all of the tomato plants, got them standing up nice and strong and trellised into the system that we have here. Y'all, the bugs are loving me right now. I'm so sweaty. I pulled out the middle row and cleaned up that very front row. So let me show you everything I did here. And our ground mess is growing. But anyway, the onions are nice and clean. I did a ton of weeding. The tomato plants can breathe finally. I actually lost one whole tomato plant. I didn't even know it was dead. But since I laid my tomato plants on their side when I put them in, this one right here has another piece that came up and saved that plant. I had so many weeds right here, you could even tell I had planted flowers. The entire middle row of mustard is gone. And in the front here, did I miss one? Nah. My trash didn't make it to the ground. We gotta move the trash over, but believe it or not, y'all, there were onions there. They got a nice haircut. I pulled out all of the cauliflower because it wasn't going to do anything. I left 3 heads of cabbage. I really don't think they're going to do anything, but y'all, I'm tired. Over here, I cleaned up the onion over here as well. So in a few minutes, we will take a break and we will come back and we will replant this bed because now I have options to put more stuff in it. But that's not all that I did. I did one other bed getting it cleaned up. So let me take you over there next. This here is the other bed that I worked on. I took out all of those brassicas that weren't doing anything. I kept the broccoli because they were just shaded out by the stuff that wasn't doing anything. Cut them back and we will be harvesting broccoli, not much, but a little bit of broccoli in the days to come. And on this back side here, the onion are completely cleaned up now. I left 2 little heads of lettuce that are going to seed, but I left them anyway. So this bed is ready to be replanted as well. And we will replant these beds, the 2 of them, after I take a nice long break and get out of this heat. And we'll come back and plant them up real quick. Y'all, break is over. The sun is hot, but I want to replant this bed. If I had transplants, y'all, I wouldn't be out here doing this at this time of day. It's still early morning, y'all, but the sun is very hot. You never want to plant your transplants in the middle of the heat of the day. I've already put fertilizer down, and what I'm doing now is just massaging it in the top inch or so of the soil. And I'm going to do that everywhere. And then I will bring you back and we will talk about what we're going to plant in this bed and the other one that I just showed you. I did put fertilizer in all the beds, so I'm trying to kind of massage this fertilizer in everywhere. I always talk about onions being heavy feeders. That is still a true statement. So they should appreciate this little bit of fertilizer that I've given them. And then after I get this in, we will get back on our 10 to 14 day schedule, which I haven't been doing so great. Hopefully this rain and all of this heat will ease up here and we can follow the schedule. I put the fertilizer down so fast, y'all. Some spots are heavy and some are not, but it's gonna have to be okay. When I go to water this bed, because I put that fertilizer on top, I will use my drip irrigation like I normally do. That's what this is here. So I'll keep doing that process, but I'm also going to water the top of the soil just in case the fertilizer is too thick in a few places. All right, we're going to move into the shade, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to plant in this bed here, at least what varieties. I know that we're going to be putting okra and squash in this bed, and in the other bed we're going to be putting beans and what else? Beans, carrots, and something else, but I don't remember. I gotta go look at the seeds. Woo! I'm in the shade. All right. In the bed that has the welcome sign where I had all of the broccoli, pulled out some lettuce, pulled out some cauliflower, and the red onion are in that bed. We are going to put beans, and I'm gonna go for the yellow beans in that bed. I said I only had yellow beans in one location, but with it being so hot, I don't want to risk not having enough beans for the year. So we're going to start a second planting of yellow beans. We're going to do golden butter wax bean, the golden butter wax bean. And we're going to do gold rush. And then we're going to put carrots in. I'm going to go with some carrots. I'm going with Old Faithful this time. I'm doing St. Valerie and Corral, however you say it, coral, I don't know. Those are my 2 Old Faithfuls. I've always grown those in the garden. I got a little narrow place where I can plant something, and so we're gonna put the carrots there. So carrots, beans, and I got another area over there. I'm gonna try, it's probably gonna go straight to seed, but I'm gonna try anyway. I'm gonna put some more mustard greens in, and I'm going with the Southern Giant Curled Mustard Green. And that should fill that bed up. That bed should be done, if not overdone. That last bed you saw me in, I'm doing yellow or golden zucchini is what it's called, golden zucchini. Here are the pictures for it. I'm going to do the golden summer crookneck squash. I got these seeds from Azure Standard when my mouse accidentally clicked on the seeds while I was on Azure Standard's website. So we're going to do crookneck squash and golden zucchini. And from the okra, let me see how many seeds I have, y'all. I'm going to do okra. Ooh. I'm going to try to do 1 row of Clemson spineless okra in that middle section if I can get it to fit in there. And that's the plan. So let's write it in our book, what we're getting ready to plant. So this is my garden journal right here. I'm going to the plan for today. Let me take my gloves off. so I can actually get some work done here. So I've already put in over here the eggplant and the okra that I planted in this bed right here beside me. I've already put that in. We are going to add, well, I got okra for 2 beds, but I've already wrote it one time. In my next garden journal, the one for next year, I'm trying to think of things that would make this work better. I'm going to add a column in here to where I planted it, because I might plant okra in 3 different beds at the same time. But I want to remember what I planted in what bed and what type of okra. Well, that one's easy. That one's easy. But what type of green bean did I plant, right? Because I use so many different varieties, so I can see which one's doing good. And I don't have to go back and look at the videos and that kind of stuff. I think I'm going to have a place to number my beds or to identify the location, adding that to this journal. I already got okra down for today. I'm going to put yellow zucchini and all the other things that I talked about. Y'all, this is a good planting day. I planted up my elevated raised bed yesterday. Today, we're planting up a whole bunch of stuff because we are getting kind of late in the year to be planting from seeds, but it is possible. You just got to get them in early, and at least for my zone. Other zones you can plant from seed for a long period of time. But the farther north you get, the less chance you have to do that because your window for growing isn't as long as those down south. I got it all in. I'm going to take my basket over there and I am going to plant as fast as I can. I've already fertilized everything already. I already got the soil prepared already. I'm not going to add any more soil or anything like that because it's hot. When I get over there, I just want to move quickly to get everything planted. For the beans, we're using the square foot garden method, so I can plant 9 beans per square, which is the yellow squares on the planter. I'm not going to pull the seed square tool out because I know it's 9 and I want to move quickly. And I'm not showing it, I'm just going to go do it. So for those, for the mustard greens, I think it's also 9, carrots are 12 per square, and the squash will be 1 for actually about 2 feet. That's why I'm only going to get 2 squash plants. Let's get to it. Let's get back in the sun and let's knock this out, because I have one other area that I want to try to plant up, and it's getting hot, y'all. And I'm going to have to water this in. I cannot let this stuff sit and not water it in. It is 10 o'clock in the morning and I've almost reached the limit of when it's too late to water, but I'm going to have to water in the seeds. So let's start with the beans, the mustards, and the carrots. Let's go get it. So the plan is to put the mustards right here. So I am going to go ahead and pull this lettuce out, but the beans are going to go right here. So let's do the beans first. We'll put these on that side, push them down. Again, beans, you have to keep moist. I'm not going to put this last row of beans down just yet so I can see where I need to stop coming from the other side. So now we're going to pull this out, or actually just break it off. Let's leave that root in there. Let's get the weeds out that I missed. For the mustard greens, y'all, I am not going to use the square foot garden method for the mustard greens. I am just going to broadcast, basically just spread them out like so. And I'm going to sprinkle some soil on top of it. That'll be the mustard greens. They do not need to be planted very deep. This bed is protected from the hot evening sun. So I'm hoping that will help them a little bit, if not a lot, but a little bit, and give it a chance to survive. So we're over to the other side. Golden butter beans. I am going 4 across. I'm still using the square foot garden method, which tells me how many inches apart my beans need to be. But I want to give my onion plenty of space over here so that we don't crowd those onion out as they try to finish growing. Oops, that's too close. Now I can push them down, all of them, including that last row from the other side. Beans are in, and now we have carrots here on this end. I got 2 varieties, but y'all, I don't have room for 2 varieties. I'm going to just take the St. Valerie's. This area is not as big as I thought. Ooh, way too many. If I can only do 16 per square foot, I don't need 500 beans. I don't sprinkle half of them on the ground now, but anywho, I'm broadcasting these as well. These are older seeds, hopefully. They germinate. We will sprinkle dirt on top of them and we'll keep rolling. This bed is fully laid out, fully planted for the second time. So we have succession planted this bed and it's ready to go. I can't sit in the sun long, so we're gonna do this quick. The okra, I'm going across the back. I don't think I got that many okra seeds either. This okra is 50 to 60 days to maturity, so that's good timing, and I really don't have that many. So we will space them out very well. Okra's in, and I didn't have enough to go across all the way across, so it's right there and it'll just have to be good enough. And then right here, we will put a squash, and in between this cabbage, I'm gonna put another squash because this cabbage will eventually come out. Zucchini is my mom's favorite. Yellow zucchini is. I'm gonna put 2 seeds per spot. I'm gonna put 2 right here, giving it this much distance. Hopefully it's enough distance, and if not, that's okay. We will move it however we need to move it to protect it. The crook neck, we will use this spot right here. Golden Summer crook neck. For yellow squash or this crook neck squash, we are going to go about 1/2 inch, if not an inch deep. I'm going to do 2 seeds as well. Wow, the Golden Summer crook neck squash goes all the way back to the 1700s, which is pretty cool. Wow, it's 50 days to harvest. From a squash standpoint, this is more like a second planting because the other squash I have has been out in this heat. It's been cooking for the last month. So I know they're gonna go kaplooey on me here very soon. I wanna make sure I got another batch ready to go so we can have succession harvest of squash. And from a yellow squash standpoint, that's mom's preferred flavor or type of squash. And for all of the other people that we're feeding, they prefer a yellow squash over zucchini. So yellow squash it is. Now that this bed is done, we're gonna do one more bed with one more item, and then we're gonna water this stuff in. This is the last bed that we're gonna clean up. In this bed, I have cabbage on the front here, and honestly, y'all, the cabbage looks okay. It's not having to deal with a lot of bad heat, it looks like over here. Behind the cabbage here, these are beans. These are rattlesnake beans. They just started coming in. They have beautiful, beautiful pink blooms. And then right next to it here, back here, I have broccoli that I've harvested about once, maybe twice, but it's been so hot, y'all, I hadn't got out here. So we're gonna cut these long stems back and keep those side shoots coming in, because we do want the side shoots. While I'm back here, I'm going to weed them a little bit if I see anything that needs to be taken care of. Not that I want to spend a lot of time right here, right now, in all of this heat. We'll do something quick. I have a couple broccoli back here that are tiny, tiny, tiny. I'm going to find a place to put them. I'm going to transplant them, just not today. It's too hot to try to transplant at this time. Maybe in the morning. There's 2 baby broccolis or cabbage or something back here that we will move over here to this bed here tomorrow, not today. So it looks pretty good back there. We'll get the weeds out, the trees, I should say, because that's what it is, mostly trees. And you notice I'm just breaking it off and dropping it down and letting it compost in place. The one thing that you don't see in my garden this year, which you've seen in past years, is the fact that I do like to mulch with straw. And I didn't have any straw to do that earlier this season, so you didn't get to see it. But I do like to mulch my beds with straw. It keeps it from drying out. You see how dry this is? That little bit of straw would have helped this situation. I didn't have any, and then when I got some, it was too hot to do it and too late in a couple places. And it's still too hot to do, so I'm still not gonna do it even though I got straw. In this spot right here today, y'all, I am going to plant some organic russet potatoes in this spot right here. And they don't like a lot of super hot sun either, but this will be my second planting of potatoes. I have a really big one right here, and we're gonna put 2 potatoes in here in this space, and that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and fertilize the whole bed. Yeah, if I can do 1 or 2 beds a day, I think I can be caught up by the end of next week and feel better about the garden. Because right now, I just feel so far behind. And if you do a little bit at a time, it doesn't become overwhelming. But that just wasn't possible, y'all. With all that heat, I just couldn't do it. It just didn't happen. I should say with all the heat I'm having at this very moment, because I am sweating bullets. All right, fertilizer's in. But y'all, we doing potatoes. And y'all know how I do my potatoes. I'm gonna dig. I am not going to be going behind afterwards and healing these potatoes. We're going to put them in and just let them sit there and do what they do. So we got our little hole. We're going to drop the 2 in. I'm going to add a little more fertilizer in that hole. I also have bone meal. The bone meal is for things growing below ground. The granular fertilizer is all around. And then I got some blood meal, nitrogen for above the ground, that leafy growth. I gotta get the sweat out my eyes, they're burning. I'm gonna drop my potato in, and you're supposed to do it with the eyes facing up. I believe that's gonna be in this direction. And I'm gonna cover it up. And this is the other half of the potato. It's only got 2 eyes left on it, but that should be enough. And cover it up. And that's it, y'all. The potatoes are in. This is all the healing they gonna get. That's it. That's all. And y'all, we're gonna call it right here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 beds. 4 beds that I completely cleaned out, fertilized, and replanted. And then I went ahead and fertilized a couple other beds over there that I started that I didn't finish yesterday. But y'all, that's it. That's it for another day at Kim's Kozy Corner. And if you enjoy coming on these trips with me when I'm in the garden messing around, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving me a thumbs up so I'll know that I'm making the content that you want to see. So until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you decide to come to Kim's Kozy Corner and hang out with me. Bye.